Welcome back. This is Alex from Studio Trejo, and today we're going to review a special adapter that can autofocus vintage manual lenses. But how? Which vintage lenses can you do it with? What's it called? Let's start with the name, the Megadap. Before we get into it, Megadap is not sponsoring this video. I purchased it with my own money and I've been using it for about a year, so these are my own opinions. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get started. Most of the information on the mechanics of the adapter can be found on their website, megadap.net. What we're going to do in this video is a quick overview and get right into the testing. So as opposed to dumb adapters or just metal adapters giving you the necessary flange distance between your mirrorless sensor and the lens to achieve infinity focus, this adapter has electronic contacts to talk to your Nikon Z camera. Now this is important because your Z mirrorless camera's autofocusing system communicates with the adapter, telling it whether the image is in focus or not, and what to do to achieve that focus. I personally do not have Leica M lenses, but the website also indicates that if you stack adapters, you can autofocus almost any lens mount. How is this possible? The Leica M mount is a versatile mount, and it is easy to adapt other lenses to work on it. This adapter works on that same principle. Attach the adapter to your Z camera like this Nikon Z6, stack the second adapter like this MD to Leica M, mount an MD lens like this plasticky but sharp Minolta 45mm f2, and now you can autofocus it. How about the more metallic Olympus 50mm f1.8? No problem. The Canon 50mm f1.4 NFD works too. An early 70s all-metal Nikon 50mm 1.4? Yes. Which for all of you Nikon AFD lens owners, this is good news, since even though the FTZ can give you aperture control, it does not autofocus AFD lenses. We will get into that later in this video. So how does it work? The easy explanation is, when you manually focus your lenses, you're essentially moving the elements forward and back to achieve focus. The Megadap, with its patented circular extension mechanism, focuses by extending the bayonet of the adapter forward and backward using your camera's autofocusing system. It supports multiple autofocus modes, including IAF and face detection. But the real question is, does it work? Absolutely. Drop your focus to infinity, set your camera to aperture mode, and take a test shot using the list found on the Megadap website to tell your camera what focal length you're shooting in. This will help with your in-body stabilization. Shut the camera off, turn it back on, put it on your desired mode, I choose manual, and off I go. I've noticed that with the nifty 50s, leaving the focus at infinity works perfectly fine for autofocusing. But lenses with longer focus throws, like a macro or a zoom, the Megadap website recommends that you get the image close to focus and then use the Megadap to get that critical focus. While it would be nice if the Megadap could get the focus for you and you wouldn't have to do any work, think about all the techniques you've been using to get critical focus when using a vintage lens. Some of us use focus peaking, which can get you great results if you don't mind seeing the peaking in your image before you shoot it. Another technique which I personally use is to punch in or digitally zoom in, then manually get the critical focus, then zoom back out, recompose and shoot. Those are a lot of steps. But with the adapter, getting the focus within the parameters of the extension mechanism eliminates the need for focus peaking or punching in. Get it close, autofocus, shoot. One last fun byproduct of the extension mechanism is you can get an extended 6.5mm focus throw on your lens. Meaning if your lens has a minimum focus of 0.5 meters, because the adapter is extending your lens, you can get even closer to your subject, reducing minimum focus on your lens. And finally, Nikon AFD users. Can we start using our AFD lenses on our Z cameras and autofocus? Yes, with a few caveats. Remember, we are double stacking to be able to mount the Nikon lens to this adapter, which means there is no communication with the adapter and the lens. So you cannot control the aperture on the lens using the camera like you would using the FTZ adapter. Great thing is, AFD lenses still have a working aperture ring. So use it manually, like you would on an older vintage lens, and let the Megadap achieve autofocus. Now your AFD lenses can be autofocused with this adapter. I know this isn't the perfect solution, but until Nikon comes out with an adapter with a screw drive that can autofocus AFDs, this is what we have. Some have asked, is the speed of the autofocus comparable to having it on my DSLR? And the answer is no. Even slower autofocus lenses from the 1980s are quicker than what this adapter can focus. But keep in mind that your vintage lenses never autofocused, and they were never intended to do so. Therefore, having this ability is still amazing. One last frequently asked question is, how noisy is it? Well, it sounds like this. If you're in a quiet venue, it's going to be loud. But if you're in the middle of the street, it's not. If you're going to attach a large zoom lens, I recommend resting the weight of the lens in your hand so the motors don't have to work as much, helping it to achieve focus. And just have fun with it. Pull out that vintage glass and autofocus with it. Because there are more upsides than downsides, then Megadap is a keeper for me. If you get a chance to use one, check it out. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on the next vintage lens review.